High liquidity is the key to attaining wealth, and if you understand what high liquidity is and how to attain it, you will surely generate wealth. High liquidity means you literally have lots of cash and assets that can be sold immediately or converted to cash. Also, the type of assets you have should increase in value and add to your net worth. High liquidity is based on the saying that cash is king, or you literally have lots of money. And that money is in your bank or personal vault, ready to be deployed for investments or building a business. But in our society, the people who are usually mistaken to have lots of cash are those who have flashy cars and mansions. And what we may not realize is there are lots of people who acquired their flashy cars and big houses through loans and debt. And if you have big loans with long periods to pay, like 5 to 30 years, you are harming your liquidity. To have high liquidity, you should have almost no loans and must have lots of cash literally. So, here are the components of high liquidity. Component number 1. Cash flow or cash going into your bank or hands. Of course, you cannot be highly liquid if you do not have sources of cash. And your sources of cash can be from your employment, a side hustle, a business, dividends or gains from stock investments or mutual funds. It is also much better to have more than one source of cash flow. So, if you have a permanent and stable job, you can seek a side hustle online or invest in stocks, which can increase in value. Component number 2. You must have cash savings or reserves. Perhaps cash savings or reserves is the most important component of high liquidity, because cash is the most liquid asset and you need cash to acquire other liquid assets like shares of stocks and mutual funds. To generate cash savings or reserves, you must have a budget that should also prioritize generating savings or reserves, which are deposited in a bank or is actually in your hands. And an important step is to live below your means, or do not spend your cash until nothing or little is left of the cash coming in every month or year. Living below your means also requires avoiding lifestyle inflation, or increasing your spending, or buying a bigger home or a flashy car. Also, value your health. Because health is wealth. Good health is about spending to take care of your health, like eating the right foods. Poor health can lead to huge expenses for medical treatment. And to enjoy life with your wealth, you must take good care of your health. How much savings do you need? According to financial experts, you should have savings to cover at least 6 months of basic expenses. This is the assumption because a person who loses his employment will need up to 6 months to find a new job. However, you can have as much cash savings or reserves. So, it is much better to live in a simple house and have a practical car, but have lots of cash amounting to millions of pesos in your bank account. And if you have millions of pesos in your bank account and millions of pesos invested in shares of stocks and mutual funds that also increases in value, you can surely get very good sleep every night. Because you know you can deal with a crisis, and you have more than enough money for your basic needs. Component number 3. You have assets that increase in value. If you have lots of cash savings and reserves, you can invest in assets that increase in value and are easy to sell and convert to cash. And the primary asset that can be converted to cash easily are shares of stocks of companies sold at the Philippine Stock Exchange. Among these are shares of stocks of BDO, Metro Bank, SM Prime, Ayala Corporation, among many others. Investing in mutual funds is a good step to diversify your assets, and there are mutual funds that offer as much as 8% interest annually. One good example of a mutual fund is MP2 offered by PAG-IBIG Fund. You should also give time to learn and acquire skills on how to invest in stocks and mutual funds, so you can realize better gains. So, give time to reading articles and watching videos on stock market and mutual fund investing from the experts. Among the best examples of a person who made it big in stock market investing is Warren Buffett, who has a net worth of around $140 billion. He is considered one of the greatest stock market investors of all time. Berkshire Hathaway, the company that Warren Buffett controls, has invested in more than 100 companies, including Coca-Cola, American Express, and Apple. Component number 4. Gold and silver investments. The prices of gold and silver reached their highest levels recently, and there is optimism that gold and silver prices will continue to increase. The prices of gold and silver are rising because these are used in various products like smartphones and solar panels. However, the problem with gold or silver bars is these are not easy to sell or convert to cash. There are also gold and silver buyers who are seeking prices lower than the market price. So, our advice is to make investing in gold or silver bars a long-term strategy. Also, do not make gold and silver bars your only investment. Our recommendation is to make gold and silver bars comprise up to 10% of your investment portfolio. We advise that you never tell anybody, especially those who are not close to you, about the gold and silver bars you have, because you can become a target of scammers, kidnappers, and robbers. We did not include real estate as a liquid investment, and we will discuss the reasons why. Firstly, real estate is expensive, as you will need hundreds of thousands or millions of pesos to acquire real estate property such as house and lot, condominium, land only, or farmland. On the other hand, you can start investing in the stock market if you have 2,000 pesos or lower. Real estate property is also hard to sell if you need cash. Meanwhile, shares of stocks can be sold easily, especially with today's digital tools. So, our advice is to prioritize liquidity and first build up your cash reserves, and to invest in stocks or mutual funds, or gold and silver bars before investing in real estate. It is better to have lots of cash reserves and liquid assets before buying real estate. And let us remember that Warren Buffett, who has a net worth of $140 billion, does not have a single real estate investment. And the house he bought in 1958 is still the house he lives in with his wife up to this day.